almost see and hear the action.
I always had the belief that our community lacked a facility recognizing what our citizens had done to preserve our nation's peace. In the early 1970s, I had occasion to visit the state of North Carolina and viewed what the rather small city of Wilmington, North Carolina had done to create a naval park for their vessel, the North Carolina. I was fascinated by the whole facility and came back to Buffalo and began writing letters from my law office to the Secretary of the Navy and the Secretary of Defense, inquiring about the availability of any vessels for Buffalo. They sent a list, and I discovered what I believed was an unclaimed jewel, the USS the Sullivans. This famous destroyer had, I thought, the values the people of Buffalo would appreciate. A story of family loyalty, a willingness to help in the great cause of defending our nation in World War II. A group of around 30 men became part of the original Buffalo Naval Park Committee. And with their efforts and the help of the mayor and the city council and our congressional delegation, the park came into being. I believe this site stands for a monument to our community's desire for protecting the peace of our nation, along with recognizing those men and women who made the great effort, many of them giving their lives.
Established in 1979 as part of the vast waterfront redevelopment, this 6-acre site represents the only such park located in an inland freshwater port. At 610 feet long with a displacement of 12,000 tons, the USS Little Rock is the park's largest exhibit. Launched in 1944 as a light cruiser and commissioned for action a year later, the Little Rock has served as flagship for the commanders of both the United States 2nd and 6th Fleets, the most prominent status any ship can attain. When the Little Rock was recommissioned as a Talos missile cruiser in 1960, its reputation took on a powerful new significance. It was one of the Navy's first uses of shipboard-launched missiles. The 30-foot-long Talos missile was the most forceful of its day, able to bring down attacking supersonic aircraft from more than 65 miles away at more than 2.5 times the speed of sound. During the 1960s, the Little Rock made 4 cruises to the Mediterranean and 2 to the North Atlantic. Retired Chief Warrant Officer Marvin Curry, now one of the staff members at the park, remembers his tour of duty on the Little Rock.
I'd like to welcome you aboard the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Servicemen's Park. I'm the ship superintendent, Mr. Curry, retired from the United States Navy. I've been with the ships now since they arrived in the city of Buffalo back in 1977. And the unique thing about myself is that I served aboard the USS Little Rock from 1966 to 1970. The USS Little Rock, which was the flagship of the 6th Fleet. We carried a fleet admiral who was overall in charge of all exercises within the Mediterranean, exercises with NATO forces, and coordinated all operations within the 6th Fleet. At that time, this ship was an outstanding ship, especially as a flagship. It was spit and polish ship. We had many visits to many cities. Of course, our home port was Gaeta, Italy, Naples, Villafranche, Palma Mallorca, Valencia, Malaga, Marseille, Genoa, Istanbul, Crete, Toronto. I could go on.
The Little Rock played host to many prominent dignitaries during its years of service, from Archbishop Makarios, the president of Cyprus, to Harry S. Truman, the president of the United States. Although the Fletcher-class destroyer docked next to the Little Rock was never frequented by such VIPs, it was named after 5 of the most famous heroes of World War II, about whom a major Hollywood movie was made.
The parents of the 5 Sullivan boys are here to share in the tribute to their sons, even as they shared their fighting spirit. As this ship slides down the ways, it carries with it a special armor all its own, the flaming and undaunted spirit that is the heritage of its name. The 5 Sullivan boys are gone. The USS the Sullivans carries on. May God bless and protect this ship. May her destiny be as glorious as the name she bears.
I christen thee USS the Sullivans.
Accepted wartime policy was to separate family members. The Sullivan brothers, Joseph, Francis, Albert, George, and Madison, desperately wanted to serve together. After much persistence, their request was finally granted. When they enlisted less than a month after the attack on Pearl Harbor, George, the eldest, told his mother, "If the worst comes to worst, why, we'll all have gone down together." Just after midnight on November 13th, 1942, the worst happened. All 5 brothers, along with over 700 other crew members, went down on their ship, the USS Juno, after it was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine just off Guadalcanal. Shortly after, President Franklin D. Roosevelt directed that one of the new Fletcher-class destroyers be named in honor of the brothers. On April 4th, 1943, the USS the Sullivans was christened by the boys' mother and was launched in San Francisco. The ship sailed into the Pacific battle zone with a vengeance, fighting mightily in the Marshalls, Carolines, Marianas, and Philippines, appropriately with 23 sailors named Sullivan aboard. In 1951, the ship was recommissioned for action in the Korean War, during which it shelled many shore targets. In 1962, as the United States and the Soviet Union tensely squared off over Soviet missiles in Cuba, the Sullivans was there, joining in the American quarantine of Cuba. Since retiring here at the Naval Park, the ship has fascinated countless visitors. On February 19th, 1986, the United States government designated the USS the Sullivans a National Historic Landmark, an honor bestowed upon only 22 warships associated with World War II. Throughout its long and distinguished career, the Sullivans never lost a man. Some attribute that to the spirit of the 5 brothers watching over their namesake. As you walk through the ship, you too will very likely feel the spirit of the Sullivans, symbolized by the shamrock on the stack and the quarterdeck plaque that proclaims George Sullivan's immortal words to his mother, "We stick together."